Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing another collection update video. I'm doing it on my Nintendo Switch collection update video, this is going to be. And I don't think I've done one for a while, either a year or two now, and I think that's a bit of a crime really. And the other thing I was just going to say is that I use natural light for these videos, so, it might be getting dark soon, so yay, that's going to be fun in the video. And first of all, we've got Ring Fit Adventure, which, if you didn't already know, I got for Christmas. And I've been playing it recently, and it is not a friggin' joke. It is not an effing joke. This game, I'm only on World 2, and it is intense. It's basically, the best way I can describe it is like Pokemon meets Wii Fit Plus. It's a fitness game with like RPG mechanics, which is weird because I really don't like fitness or exercise, even the word just saying it makes me itch. But then I'm not the massive RPG guy. I mean, I guess Western RPG, yeah, but JRPG, not so much. And as I say, it's kind of like a sort of, as I say, like a Pokemon meets RPG, or RPG, Pokemon, which will have pissed off so many people. Me saying that, and then, as I say, Wii Fit Plus, because you battle these little critters, these little guys, but then also this is the big bad boss, who's this buff fucking dragon guy, and I mean, I'm really enjoying the sort of, it's so in-depth in terms of, like, the exercise stuff, it's kind of insane, but then also it's, like, not, maybe it is a bit more on the RPG, or less so on the RPG stuff, but then it might open up the more you go in or play the game, because again, I'm only on World 2 at the main game, but then there are mini games, and then you can just do random reps and make your own playlist with the reps and the mini game and the jogging thing and and mix and match those three things into a playlist of 4 or 5 different things, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on with this game? And I really want to keep at it, keep chipping away at it, but you can set the difficulty setting, but that's actually more about like how difficult the game, or like how much resistance the game that gives you, if that makes sense. So like the lower difficulty, the less you have to do of like squats, I presume, but if you put it up higher, then it's like you have to, instead of doing just 10 reps, you have to do 30 or whatever, or 45 if you're a mad lad. But that's what I got for Christmas, as well as another game on the Xbox One, if you've watched that collection update video. Animal Crossing New Horizons, the game that was, well, it was pretty much the only big blockbustery main first party sort of release from Nintendo this year, back in March, just sort of snuck in there, just end of the first month of, or sort of end of March, just at the brilliant beginning of this whole COVID bullshit. And I think I've put in about 245 hours, so it's good. It's definitely up there. It's definitely one of the games that I've put in the most hours in on the Switch and that, and it's kind of like The Sims meets SimCity, but with anthropomorphic animals, really. Very cutesy, very sort of Pixar-y, Disney-ish, and it took the world by storm, It won Best Family Game of the Year this year and that, and it's well deserved. It's insane, and it was up for Game of the Year as well. Nintendo Labo haven't really picked this one up, if I'm being honest, since building the sort of Zapper, or the blaster sort of gun and the headset. Haven't really picked it up again since, if I'm being honest. Just haven't really, which is a shame, because the blaster isn't as bad as I thought it'd be. The headset's okay, it has some nice mini games here and there, but the building thing was very fun to do with the person that I did it with, and Very sturdy, very resistant cardboard as well, because I know the person that I built it with was very skeptical about the durability, the resistance of the thing and that, and then you've got bands as well for the blaster and all that. So yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3, I really enjoyed that game, or this game. Completed it as well, just at the end of 2019, I think. It came out in October 2019, and I just beat it just before the end of that year as well, I think. Yeah, it came out just before Halloween, I think, in 2019, and I beat it just before, or the end of the year. Like, I remember beating it around sort of November time. Yeah, really fun, really good game. I've only played Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3, but yeah, I'm a fan. I really enjoy this. It's basically Nintendo's version of like Resident Evil, you know, like it's a scary game, but it's not really. It's Nintendo's, as I say, version of Resident Evil, so it's like not really scary, but it's kind of more Pixar scary and that, and then you've added Gooigi, which is a goo version of Luigi, and you can go through bars and through grates and stuff, and it's very Ghostbusters-y as well, and that, and just generally a really cool, fun, awesome game. And that, and I relate more to Luigi than I do Mario, sadly enough. Yeah. Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, completed this game as well. Really sort of fun, top-down, sort of brawler, sort of Marvel Diablo sort of game. Opening up the box, you've just got all these are all the characters you've got to play with, and that's not even including DLC as well. You know, you can mix and match all these different characters, and then, you know, there's a bajillion different weird in-game currency things and gems and all manner of craziness to make all manner of different combinations, essentially, and that. And I enjoyed it to the point where I keep umming and ahhing whether or not I should even get the DLC and stuff for this game, because yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's yeah, I think it's ironically Nintendo's version of like that big Avengers game, yet the irony is that because this is just more of a sort of low-key sort of, no pun intended, low-key sort of top-down, as I say, Diablo-esque sort of game, but with like the Marvel roster and characters, it's actually a lot better, I think, personally, than what I gather the Avengers game is like, because that just sort of was a live service that bit off more than it could chew, whereas this, ironically, knew what it wanted to be, released exclusively on the Switch, and it's actually really, really good. If you're massive into Diablo or Marvel, or even a little bit into Marvel, or a little bit into Diablo. I've never played a Diablo-type game, but yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It's, yeah, it's quite a bit of fun. Quite difficult, to be honest, towards the sort of mid to late bit, and I feel like that's more like less to do with the enemies being tough, but more just like the currency thing, or the in-game mechanics not always being very clear, and the fact that I think as well it's a multiplayer game, and you would probably need to play it with multiplayer in mind, maybe, and then it could be a bit easier potentially. Also, I played a bit of Luigi's Mansion 3 with my cousin in Scotland, and that was cool as well, so yeah, beat that game. Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered for the Nintendo Switch. Haven't actually touched this game yet, which is such a crying shame, because I absolutely adored this game back in the day on 360. Absolutely loved it then, so I just assumed when this was announced and or people were reviewing it, I was just like, hey, if it's just the exact same 360 game but on a console slash thing that can also be a handheld, fuck it, I'll buy this game, because holy shit, is it so much fun. I remember back in the day, I think it was one of the earlier games that touted like destructive environments, which was a big thing, because that's like a big physics thing, I think, in the games engine. and that when you do that sort of stuff. So it's not super easy to do that, and yeah, this game did it pretty flawlessly back in the day from what I remember. This and like Just Cause are like the two games that I just distinctly, when people talk about destructive environments in video games, they're the two that just pop into my mind immediately. Just Cause and Red Faction Guerrilla, and Armageddon as well, which I still have both for 360. Yoshi's Crafted World, completed this game. Really fun, sort of one of the more cutesy sort of 2D platformers. Everything's cardboardy and that, and it's really fun. Just, you know, sort of laid back, chill, sort of easy peasy sort of game. Didn't play this 2-player at all with anyone, unfortunately, but yeah, it's one of those games that it's like super easy to complete from point A to point B. But if you're a completionist, it'll probably be a ball ache, because every level has like 10 costumes to buy, 10 to 20 costumes to buy, and there's like however many levels per world. Like, I don't know, like let's say 6 to 8 levels per world, and there's like 9-10 worlds or something, you know. Yeah, pretty really like the art style, pretty nice game, and fun and that, and yeah, I love some of the costumes are just crazy and wacky and ridiculous and that. Ironically, they're in like a gotcha machine, like quite literally like a Japanese gotcha machine / like sort of those things you get at like bowling alleys here in the UK or cinemas, where you get like a plastic toy sort of thing. But the funny thing is, I just like the idea that if EA or any other company did this game, that they'd be actual paid for with actual money, as opposed to in-game currency, which is what this game does. Super Mario Maker 2, I really haven't touched this game that much, and or played it that much, which is such a shame. I tried to beat the single player, but fuck me, it was too difficult, and I gave up on that big time. Fortunately though, I got the limited edition copy, and that which came with 12 months free online, which I gave to one of the staff to then give to a member at the service that I go to, Specialist Awesome Service, which is awesome because the person the other member there was really happy with that, because I already paid for the online, so I just thought, you know what, they didn't get the version they wanted, which was Super Mario Maker 2. They got it, but they didn't get the online, basically. So I was just like, you know what, I already pay for online for the Switch, so I'll just give him the free online. So yeah, that's what I did with that. It also came with a steelbook, a really nice sort of steelbook sort of thing. I don't have a lot of these for video games. What was I going to say? The other thing I got was this massive book with like graph paper, so you can draw out your own levels, I suppose, as well as a stylus as well, which was really cool. And then, as I say, this sort of steelbook sort of thing, which came with this cover, see-through cover, and then the steelbook, which I'm trying open now, one-handed, like a pro. And then you get this sort of lovely artwork, which kind of is very sort of Super Mario 1-esque inspired. But yeah, I always just keep the two steelbooks that I do have empty. I don't know why. I do know why. I guess I don't want the artwork or the game to be in there. So then I don't want it being a thing where I just end up always using the limited edition-y one and then damaging it eventually, sort of thing. Next game, ARMS. Haven't really played this at all. Well, actually, that's a lie. I played the demo, enjoyed the demo, got this pre-owned from Game, which is why this got damaged, I guess. Most of these games are either from Game or maybe CEX or... I don't know. No, probably Game, I guess. Game or Amazon, maybe. What was I going to say about... Super Mario Maker 2, I didn't even touch the single player... the multiplayer that much either. I dabbled in it a bit, but not as much as I would have wanted to. And I just don't know why. But now, because so much time has passed, I just feel like I've missed the boat on Mario Maker 2. I know they added, the last update was like adding worlds, or that you could string your levels together to be worlds. ARMS basically kind of makes me think of like, take the wacky crazy characters design of like Splatoon, but with the core mechanic of Wii Sports boxing, with Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That's basically the elevator pitch for ARMS in my mind. But yeah, I actually, it can't be that bad because they added Min Min, I think, into Smash. So yeah. Saints Row the full Saints Row 3 the full package, or package, if you will. It's basically the third game in the Saints Row series with all the DLC. I think I'm nearly close to 100%ing this game. I definitely have completed it, like the main story stuff. I think I'm pretty sure I have. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I've actually played it. And I got that from game. Minecraft, it's just Minecraft on Switch, really. I don't really know what else to say about that. Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, Binding of Isaac with all the DLC and all the extra goodies and that. I got this game from Granger's Game, again, RIP them, for anywhere from like £20 to £30, brand new as well, which is like awesome. And that. And it came with this colour manual sort of thing, which is awesome. And that, and then it has like on the inside the story of the game and that, which is cool. And then the piece de resistance, for me at least, as a really weird person, is the fact that it came with some awesome stickers, Binding of Isaac stickers, so that was cool. Really good sort of roguelike, very Team Meat-esque, you know. I don't know if it was by the same people who did Super Meat Boy, but it's very similar. But think original Legend of Zelda top-down sort of Zelda meets that sort of art style, that sort of gross out, horrible, you know, shitty, sort of bloody shitty mess of an art style. And I mean that in an actual complimentary way. Super Mario Odyssey, I mean, it's Super Mario Odyssey, it's definitely up there. I really, really like this game, even though I've only put 50 hours into the game, which sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. Completed it, again, like with Yoshi's Crafted World, it's easy enough to complete from point A to point B, but if you're a completionist trying to get all 1,000 goddamn Power Moons, you're a mad lad. It's going to take some time, and you need to be like above average, if not expert level of like Mario player, in terms of like how to control both Mario and Cappy. You've got to have some next level synergy between the two. The two have got to be one with each other to be able to get all 1,000 Power Moons, I assume. I did also complete Dark Side of the Moon, which I'm very sort of ecstatically happy and braggy about, clearly in the tone of my voice. But yeah, I'm happy with that, because that was a ball ache to do, because that was like the New Game Plus sort of add-on-y bit, I guess, I suppose. But again, that's a game that I always want to keep going back to, Super Mario Odyssey. Even if I don't find Power Moons, I'm kind of just like in awe with the game, the way it looks, and the fact that, as well, I keep wanting to replay a lot of these games, because since sort of a while back we got a 4K TV downstairs, so again I haven't seen a lot of these games be displayed on a 4K TV, and I think some of them would just look absolutely stunning. Splatoon 2, brilliant game, love this game, put in 365 hours. I'm like level 68 maybe, nearly level 70 out of 99. Haven't even 100%ed the campaign yet, and I only say that because I keep thinking to myself, I keep daring myself in my own head to be like, oh, if and when I have 100% the main campaign in Splatoon 2, I'll finally get the Octo expansion pack and or DLC, and then play through that and that, because that's supposed to be like this ultra difficult Dark Souls-esque like challenge, but in the Splatoon universe and that. Love the game, love the art style, the soundtrack, the gameplay, the sheer sort of verticality and fluid, nature of the game. No pun intended in terms of the game, but yeah, there's just something so addictive about it. Every time I'm like, just one more game, and then 4 to like 8 hours have just gone by like that, of me just playing it again and again, whether it's turf war or ranked battles. I'm obsessed with this game. And Splatoon 1. I mean, Splatoon 1 I put in 200 hours, this I've put in 365 hours, so that's like a total of 565 hours, I guess. Last game, you've got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which was the first game that I got, and I still think it's the number 1 sold game on the Switch, which is insane. Brilliant party game. I love still playing it 2-player with people. Haven't played much online, but I play online occasionally. Just a very fun, very well-rounded, solid, brilliantly fun sort of a game and that. And I'm really surprised they haven't got more DLC or any more DLC, because the DLC from 8 carried over to this, so this is like the definitive edition version of 8 basically. Because it includes like the Inkling and Link and and that, and with that then obviously the discussion of they're just going to do a Super Smash Bros. Mario Kart game in the future, in so much as just fuck it, every character from the Nintendo Pantheon can be in a Mario Kart game as opposed to just Mario characters. I don't know about that, but like, I don't know if that would happen for 9, but yeah, it's kind of mad as well to think like Super Circuit was a thing this year as well, and that I suppose. And now I'm just stacking these games back in order to be put back where they need to go. And yeah, this has been my collection update video on my Nintendo Switch games that I've got in the collection. I've got a bit of an addiction to the Switch, I guess. It's just such a good sort of console / handheld. It's so versatile, and yeah, I think that's the thing that just makes it what it is, really, if that makes sense. Like, even if you have a gaming PC, the best gaming PC ever, I think a lot of people who PC game have Switches for that reason, because it's so sort of different and unique, and that you're not going to get something like that on a PC, do you know what I mean, or an Animal Crossing, or do you know what I mean, like these more sort of smaller, nicer, cuter experiences, but you can still, it's not like they're just like phone games. They're kind of like phone games in their accessibility at times, but then there's also the depth of like a big AAA game and that, and the quality there as well, fortunately. But yeah, here's to hopefully more Switch games to come. I mean, in my head I've already got in mind something that I do want to pick up at some point, either from a place called Game On, I think, or maybe even Amazon. I might check out if they have this game in mind that I've got in mind. Well, actually, there are 2 games in mind. One that's an indie game that I've got, which I've not got at all, but a physical version of this indie game came out, and then the other game that I've got in mind is a first party Nintendo game. But yeah, that's another thing. I've got a few indie games, or I've played some indie games on the Switch as well. The 2 that I have got are Super Crush KO and #Funtime. And yeah, I really do want to play Hades at some point as well. And yeah, as I said before, probably, thanks for watching. Please do comment, rate, and subscribe.